Have you ever wondered how two people who seemed destined for success could end up becoming one of professional wrestling's most heartbreaking stories? In the world of wrestling, fans usually remember championships, unforgettable matches, and larger-than-life personalities. But behind the bright lights and roaring crowds are real people, whose lives can be far more complicated than anything seen inside the ring. Today, we're looking at one of the most emotional stories ever featured on Dark Side of the Ring, the story of Chris Candido and Tammy Sytch. Their journey began with love, ambition, and dreams of making it to the top, but it slowly transformed into a tragedy shaped by fame, addiction, and unimaginable loss. Long before millions of wrestling fans knew them, Chris Candido and Tammy Sytch were simply two teenagers in love. They met in high school and shared a passion for professional wrestling. While many people dismissed wrestling as an impossible career, Chris believed he could make it. He possessed incredible athletic ability, remarkable technical skills, and an unmatched determination to succeed. Tammy stood beside him from the beginning, supporting his dream while pursuing her own future in the business. Their journey started on the independent wrestling circuit, where life was anything but glamorous. Small crowds, endless travel, and modest paychecks were simply part of the job. Yet Chris never lost sight of his goal. His dedication earned him opportunities in respected promotions, where his performances caught the attention of wrestling insiders. At the same time, Tammy's natural confidence, charisma, and camera presence quickly became impossible to ignore. As the wrestling industry expanded during the 1990s, so did their careers. Together, they joined Smoky Mountain Wrestling, where they became one of the promotion's most recognizable acts. Chris impressed audiences with his technical wrestling ability, while Tammy discovered she had a unique gift for connecting with fans. Her personality made her stand out in an era when female performers were beginning to receive greater attention.
But while Tammy's fame skyrocketed, Chris struggled to find the same level of success. Despite earning tremendous respect from fellow wrestlers for his skill, he often found himself overshadowed by his partner's growing celebrity. The difference wasn't because Chris lacked talent. Many veterans considered him one of the finest technical wrestlers of his generation. Instead, the wrestling business increasingly rewarded larger personalities and marketability over pure in-ring ability. That imbalance created pressure few relationships could withstand. Constant travel kept them away from family, while the demanding wrestling schedule left little room for normal life. Rumors circulated throughout locker rooms, temptations became harder to avoid, and the intense spotlight only magnified every personal struggle. The couple who had once chased the same dream together now found themselves dealing with very different realities. As success continued to grow, so did the emotional distance between them. What had started as a shared dream was beginning to evolve into something far more complicated, and neither Chris nor Tammy realized that the hardest chapters of their story were still ahead. As the years passed, the pressure surrounding Chris and Tammy only intensified. Professional wrestling in the 1990s was an unforgiving industry. Performers were expected to work through injuries, spend most of the year on the road, and constantly fight to keep their spot. Behind the excitement that fans saw on television, many wrestlers were dealing with physical pain, emotional stress, and personal struggles that rarely became public. Chris and Tammy were no exception. Their relationship, once built on unwavering trust, began to show signs of strain. Stories of backstage drama and personal conflicts followed them wherever they went. Whether every rumor was true or not, the constant attention made it increasingly difficult to separate their private lives from their public image. Fame had given them opportunities they once dreamed about, but it had also placed enormous pressure on their relationship. For Chris, the physical demands of wrestling became impossible to ignore. Years of taking bumps and competing through injuries took a serious toll on his body. Like many wrestlers of that era, he faced ongoing pain while trying to continue doing what he loved. The determination that had driven him to chase his dream also made it difficult for him to slow down,
even when his health demanded it. Tammy, meanwhile, was facing challenges of her own. After reaching incredible heights as one of wrestling's most recognizable personalities, maintaining that level of success proved difficult. As opportunities changed and the spotlight shifted, she struggled with personal issues that affected both her career and her life outside the ring. The episode explores how addiction and destructive choices gradually became a major part of her story, leaving lasting consequences for herself and those closest to her.
Then came the heartbreaking moment that changed everything. In 2005, Chris suffered a severe leg injury during a match. Surgery initially appeared successful, but complications developed during his recovery. A blood clot ultimately led to his death at just 33 years old. For friends, family, and fans, the loss was devastating. Wrestling had lost one of its most gifted performers far too soon, and countless people were left wondering what more he could have accomplished if given more time. The tragedy did not end there. Chris's passing became a turning point that highlighted the emotional cost of life inside the wrestling business. It also underscored how quickly success, fame, and personal struggles can collide with devastating consequences. Tammy's life continued to face legal troubles and personal hardships in the years that followed, serving as another reminder that the effects of trauma and addiction can continue long after the cameras stop rolling. What makes Dark Side of the Ring, Chris and Tammy, so powerful is that it refuses to reduce their lives to headlines or rumors. Instead, it presents two people who shared a genuine love, worked tirelessly to achieve their dreams, and found themselves overwhelmed by the pressures that came with success. Their story isn't simply about professional wrestling. It's about ambition, relationships, vulnerability, and the human cost of fame. In the end, Chris Candido is remembered not only for his incredible talent inside the ring, but also for the respect he earned from those who knew him. Tammy's story remains far more complicated, reflecting both remarkable success and deeply painful struggles. Together, their lives remind us that behind every wrestling persona is a real person facing challenges the audience may never see. It's a story of love, loss, and the hidden realities behind sports entertainment. A story that continues to resonate because it feels profoundly human.